Welcome back to the show, everyone. This is your host, Larry Lou, and this is Let Go of My Ego, brought to you by T3 Life Coaching, T3 Transformation Through Truth. I got a special edition today. I wanted to talk about fathers because this special edition is on Father's Day. So I thought I would speak on fathers a little bit. Being one myself, I know it's not easy. You know, you do your best, but there are some pitfalls along the way, and sometimes you just doing the best you can. But although it's Father's Day, and I'm doing this because it's Father's Day, and I'm going to talk about fathers. Before we really can talk about fathers, we have to talk about being a man. Because some of us have become fathers before we have learned how to be a man. So what I really want to focus on is being a man, and what exactly does that mean? So in my research, I found something interesting. Some of you may know this, others may not, but interesting nonetheless. In Latin, the word man means hand. It means hand. And so I'm intrigued, of course, and continue to do more research, and I found some words that have man in it, and so man becomes the root word of these words. For instance, emancipate. Now we all know emancipate means to like set free or to release, right? But if you think about it, that also emancipate with that root word, man, in it. To lend a hand in freeing someone. To release from someone's hand, emancipate. Mandate, an order or command placed in one's hand. Manicure, a treatment for the hands and nails. And manacles. Some of you probably never heard that word before. Manacles, root word man, means handcuffs. So man, and or as us men, our responsibility and our obligation on this earth, to our culture, to our communities, and definitely in our homes, which is where it all needs to start, is to lend a hand. And what came to my mind is in the Christian Bible, talk about how the man is the head of the household. And it got me to wondering how many people really know, or to say how many men really knows what that means. Because if he is to be the head of the household, he is to be the greatest servant in that home. Because man means to lend a hand. He is to be the greatest servant in that household. So when she doesn't want to cook, that man says, I got it. When she doesn't feel like cleaning, that man says, I got it. When the kids is acting like they losing their minds today, the man tells her to go ahead, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. I got it. That's what being a true man is about. When she doesn't want to act right, when she done messed up the money, when she done spent too much and not saved enough. It's painful as it might be. The man steps in and says, I'll take care of it. Oh, well, it's hard. I know you want to tell her to get her stuff and get out. Don't let the door hit you or the good Lord split you. I know you want to. I know that's how I be feeling. That ego gonna be like, get out. You ain't about to take me down with you. But this is the responsibility that has been put on us. This is the responsibility of a man. We only have two hands, but it feels like we've been giving out thousands. So man is the greatest servant in his household. Maybe the parents, whether it's hers or his, then got too old and they can't take care of themselves like they used to, and they need some help. The man gonna lend a hand. The wife may say, I need to go out of town and go see about my family. Go see about my mother. Go see about my father. Go see about my sister who's just had a baby and needs some help. And I need to go there and support her. I might be gone for a month or two. Is that okay? The man says, baby, go do what you got to do. I'll be fine. And he's not going to let anything come between that union because she been gone for a couple of weeks. He's going to let her. He's going to lend her out to her family, even though her responsibility may be to him. Family is in need right now, that extended family. And so sometimes she may need to go lend that hand, and he's going to allow that. The biggest servant in the household. Meaning the greatest servant in the household, in case y'all don't know, is the one who suffers the most. And so we only got two hands, but it seems like we've been giving out thousands. But it's okay. This is our duty. This is what we were meant to do, is to serve as a man. Now I know some of us want to sit back in the chair and put our feet up on the desk and think everybody is supposed to serve us. But I don't believe that that's true. Man means hand. Manuscript. A handwritten piece of work. Like a book. I know we use computers and stuff now, but before they had computers, everything was handwritten. Or before typewriters, everything was handwritten. Some people still handwrite things. But a lot of us men are hurting and we're ashamed of it. We've given out all these hands. We've reached out and have had our hands cut off, and it's not a good feeling. So a lot of us are suffering because we don't feel that we appreciate it. And so unfortunately, a lot of men these days are suffering and feel ashamed for the suffering. Because we men, we are taught not to feel pain. We are taught to keep on trucking. We are taught we got to get it out of the mud. We are taught that we don't need attention. We are taught that we don't need any sympathy. We are taught that nobody cares about us and that nobody should, because if you strong and you're a man, you won't worry about that. But that's one of the biggest lies ever told. It is our duty to do the heavy lifting. It is our duty to maybe go out and get a part-time job, or some of us get a second job. Not because you got to have that Louis Vuitton purse or that Gucci purse or that Michael Kors purse, bag. Not because you got to drive around in the Range Rover, but because maybe, you got sick and more money needs to come into the household because we going through some things right now. Maybe some extra needs to come through the door, but that's not just for you to go out and splurge and spend all his money. That's not the reason that we go out and do the things that we do. It shouldn't be to fill your stomach. We do all of this, all these things to uplift the household, but we don't get recognition for that. That gets overlooked. So our job is to lend a hand. And I would hope that you wouldn't make us feel ashamed for doing that. I'll never forget. I was at home one day, just relaxing. My brother had took this woman out. Was going to see if, there was a good match and, he's going to date her and see, how things went. He was looking to settle down, get married. And, so he was trying to fill her out. He picks her up. He has got like a brand new CTS, the Cadillacs, when they first came out. The one looked like a Batmobile, the 2-door. Nice, right? Had all the bells and whistles. Had everything except one thing. She gets in the car. This is a brand new Caddy. We all know about Cadillacs, the history. He didn't have a sunroof. And she gonna say, oh, how come you ain't getting no sunroof? You could at least got a sunroof. Now I got everything else. And she picks out the one thing that it doesn't have. He called me. Was telling me, man, she talking about I ain't got no sunroof and this. And I said, put her out. On everything I love, I told him to put her out. Now, he too nice to do that. I would have put her out. Took it back home, if not anything else. May gonna make him feel ashamed for doing the best he can. So how? So the least you can do is not have us feel ashamed for doing the best that we can. How do you do that? How is it that you can help us not feel ashamed for doing the best we can and still feeling like it's not good enough? Sometimes a thank you will suffice. Sometimes just come rub my head a little bit. About 15 minutes, just rub my head a little bit. You will be surprised at how long that can go. You ain't got to buy me nothing. You don't have to give me nothing. Just come rub my arm, rub my back. Come rub my face and play with my beard. And if you want to tell me you love me, that's cool too. But respect me by not trying to make it seem like I'm only here to fill your belly. And then the biggest part is when you make a mistake and I got to come in and fix it. Don't make it seem as if I'm doing something wrong. I'm trying to help us by helping you. Nobody's perfect. So when you make a mistake, when you do something you shouldn't do, don't get offended if I have to check you on it. It may be necessary for me to do that. I might need to check you sometime because you out of pocket. Don't get mad. Don't get defensive. Don't start yelling at me because the mistake that you made, you feel guilty about it. Don't feel like anybody should have some words set aside for you. If I don't tell you you wrong, the whole ship can go down. And I can't let that happen. Man overboard. We finished. I'm trying to save the ship. So don't hate me for it. Look past your feelings and understand I'm showing you love. I'm trying to make sure that the family stays afloat. That we got food in the refrigerator. That it's heat in the wintertime. That the kids got clothes on their back. I know we doing it together, but if you done made a mistake, fess up to it. Let's own it and get past it. The love is still there. I ain't going nowhere. It's all good. If you haven't heard, there's a rapper called Dex. DAX. It seems like he's taking the world by storm because he's different than any other rapper out there. I don't even listen to rap anymore, but I listen to him. He has a song called "To Be a Man," and he did this collaboration with just regular people, not big artists and all these people you might know, but just regular people. And this song is touching millions. But what puzzled me and what got my attention was all these men and even some women on there, and their verses are, man, amazing. Voices are amazing. I mean, it's really, really good. When you get a chance, check it out. But there's a lot of pain in men's hearts right now because they're not feeling appreciated. They feel like all that they're in the house for is to pay bills and fill stomachs. That's it. And that's sad because some of the lyrics and verses and what they are saying, some of them don't even want to live anymore. Some of them are thinking or was thinking about taking their own life because of how hard it is to be a man in today's society. If the love doesn't come from inside the home, where is it supposed to come from? The boss don't love us. The police don't love us. The president don't love us. Politicians, where is it supposed to come from? The next door neighbor probably hates us. The people at the grocery store don't care nothing about us. We go buy a car, they love us. Once we buy it, it's on to the next. So if the love is not coming from inside the home, where are we supposed to get it from? The reality is that a lot of us grew up without fathers. And so we were never taught how to be a man. Our mothers did the best they could do. But we were never really taught because although mothers can tell us these things and try to help us and support us, they don't know what it's like to experience being inside of the body of a man. They don't know that. They don't know what that feels like. So a lot of us have just been winging it, doing the best that we can. But we've made some mistakes along the way. And I ask that the women, the wives, those people that are most important in our lives, mothers, the family, have mercy. Be patient. Because this is the hand that we've been dealt. And I ask for forgiveness. But we're doing the best we can. We're trying to be fathers without even knowing what it means to be a man. And because of that, we may have to lean on each other. And that's something that a lot of us may have a hard time doing. Fortunately for me, that's not the case. I got brothers who I lean on all the time. If you've been listening to the show, you know that my childhood wasn't the greatest with my father and how I hated him for a long time. But luckily, I forgave him a year before he left this earth. So this whole time, I've relied on other men to help me out. And luckily, I've had the opportunity to do that, but I had to allow myself to be helped and sometimes swallow my pride and ask questions and take advice. Not thinking that I know everything and got it all together, because that's what a man is technically supposed to do. Have it all together. We don't. And it's time that we admit that. I have men in my life that took care of me when I didn't have anything. When I was homeless and, it was this man named Elder Heath and his family. They took me and he treated me like a son. He called me son to this day. I would go over his house, eat, stay over there all day if I wanted to. I could have lived there probably if I wanted to. And they didn't have a whole lot, but he didn't care. He never told me no. He never told me I couldn't come over there. He never said I don't have enough money to feed another mouth. He never once told me that. He was setting an example. I took notes. If somebody need help, help them. If somebody need help, help them. And I got brothers all around. I feel like I'm almost all around the country. I got brothers in Ohio, brothers in Detroit. When I got diagnosed, one of my brothers in Ohio said if I needed a bone marrow transplant, he would be willing. I mean, with no question. With no question. He said he would be willing. When I couldn't work and was diagnosed and came home and could barely walk, my brother paid my rent. This is what it means to be a man, lending that hand. One lent me his hand by setting an example. Help people who need to be helped if you can. And even if you can't, do it anyway. Another wanted to go up under the knife for me. He was lending me his bone marrow. Lending me his hand. Another one lent me his hand by lending me money. Can't even say lent it to me. He just gave it to me. Ain't said I had to pay it back. He knew I was in need. Did what he felt needed to be done. Sometimes when we haven't had a father to set that example, we need to learn from others. But you got to open your heart to that. Fellas, open your heart. Don't be scared to receive. Don't feel ashamed to take something from someone who's trying to give you something. Don't mean that you less than. You in trouble. It's okay. They were probably put in that position to help you and you don't even know it. I've watched men do things that I didn't think was even capable. I got a brother who has stepkids, but you can't call them stepkids. He said if him and his wife, even though they did, go their separate ways, if she wanted him to pay child support, he would have. He take care of his kids anyway, really wasn't no need. But he would have. Not too many men gonna do that. Gonna pay child support for a kid that's not biologically theirs. They gonna keep that money. Now he does pretty well for himself, but still, they're not his biological kids, but they are his kids through love. That's a man. So being a man means lending a hand. It means being the greatest servant in the household. In the words of the great prophet Muhammad, no man is a true believer unless he desires for his brother that which he desires for himself. This is Larry Luke, people. Elevation is in order. Happy Father's Day. Peace.